I'm always touching something in the first couple of seconds. I don't know why I do that. But what up? It's your boy Don. I'm back with another episode of the 89 Cast. Episode 65. We run it through them. We run it through them. But today, what I want to discuss is now they've been like this thread. There's many little thread or there's many little universe of discussion, if that's a thing that's been going on over the past couple weeks. It kind of started with FD Signifier's video about hip hop is dying or whatever like that. And he kind of talks about ageism and how if we just keep allowing the older rappers to kind of control the be the ones to put out the music, be the ones that get the most attention as far as that like that, then that means that the culture is dying. And that means that we don't have no new stars that's going to carry to the future. He kind of brings it into saying like the time that the older acts had to pass down to the newer acts, they never took that time, and then the older audience never accepted them, and this and that. And then it led to a video where Open Mike Eagle replied to that video, and then Lil Bill replied to Open Mike Eagle and FD Signifier with his video. And then I think I saw Open Mike Eagle, which I watched after this. Open Mike Eagle, I guess, reacted to Lil Bill's video, reacted to his video, reacted to FD Signifier's video. It's a crazy little thread going on. But I wanted to touch on Lil Bill's video, which kind of ties a little bit into what Open Mike Eagle's point was. So to start off, Open Eagle's point is that the stars that are existing, I'm going to start off with that, and then I'm going to go into my main point that bounces off of Lil Bill's point. The stars that we are saying don't exist do exist. We are in a different climate where different metrics matter. You understand what I'm saying? We feel that a star face. We feel like, and this ties all into my hyper individualism theme that I've been on. We believe that a star isn't a star if we don't accept them as a star. There is a huge fan base. They have the numbers back that they are considered stars, but we still use old metrics to try and determine whether somebody is a star or not. We still base who's a star, who's a superstar, who's the next up, who's going to usher in the next generation. We still determine this on metrics that are long gone and that don't matter anymore. So people are saying we have no new stars because we don't have any acts besides these couple people that are doing hundred thousands of sales. How you doing, Noah? How you doing, Emily Adams? We don't have no new stars that are doing hundreds of thousands of sales, which we kind of do, and I'll kind of touch on that real quick too before I get into my main point. We don't have no new stars that's doing hundreds of thousands of doing platinum and this and that, which we do, but we don't acknowledge them. You understand what I'm saying? Or we don't feel like it's important. You understand what I'm saying? What are we doing? We're just having a conversation, and just having a discussion, something I've been thinking about for a week or whatever like that. But what was I leading to? But we're basing the next stars off of album sales, when we know album sales, first of all, don't really matter, and second of all, we're not holding it up to the fact that streaming exists. You understand what I'm saying? When somebody is doing 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 album sales first week, we kind of look down on that. But you have to convert that into streams and realize these are millions and millions of streams that are being done within a week for certain artists. You understand what I'm saying? Yet we downplay it because, oh, well, this artist did 300,000, as if they didn't exist in a climate and they didn't already build a fan base that was going to buy their albums anyway, that's going to buy their merch anyways. How you doing, Liam Villalpando? But anyways, that goes into my point. People like to say, oh, we have no new superstars. Tyler, the Creator, is a new superstar. He's not a new act, but the fact that Tyler, Creator, is selling 300, 200,000, I didn't check what his album sales was on, what's the shit called? Don't Touch the Glass. I haven't checked that. But why don't we consider a new Tyler, the Creator, to be a new superstar? He's not a new act, but Tyler, Creator is at the peak of his career popularity wise, and we're still saying there are no new stars. But this goes into my other point. Other artists that can be considered new stars that we're just ignoring because they don't touch our radar. They don't make the music we want. We ignore those people. Playboi Carti is a new superstar. You understand what I'm saying? Travis Scott, even though he's kind of not new, Travis Scott is still a new superstar. We keep this narrative, and even sometimes I push this narrative, but we kind of ignore. We keep this idea that, oh, Kendrick, Drake, and Cole are the only superstars, and it's dying because there are no superstars. There are artists with huge fan bases that we just ignore. NBA YoungBoy is a big artist. He is a big artist. Why do we leave him out as superstar? I get it. He's not new. He's not. Oh, he's not on the level of Drake and Kendrick and even that. But like I said, they built fan bases in a time period where people were still buying music. So that fan base is still going out and buying the music versus these people who are building their fan bases off of streaming. You understand what I'm saying? But they're still selling out arenas. They still have huge fan bases, still push a lot of merch. They are, if you put Playboi Carti's popularity in a different era, he would be a superstar. But we ignore that because it don't fit the metrics, the old metrics that we are still trying to follow today. But this goes into my point about the women. My point about the women, which also bounces off of Lil Bill's argument. So I want to say every few months, we get this hip hop is dying. The conversations always go on, oh, it's just Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. We need more superstars. We need more acts. We need more people to kind of carry this thing on. They've been holding it down for so long. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They've been holding it down, and we need new people to pass the torch to. But we've been ignoring that the new people have been in front of our faces the entire time. The new people that have been putting out the hits consistently, the new people that have been setting the vibes consistently, the new people have been putting out bodies of work consistently, the new people that have been getting Grammys. We forget how much the women have swept, or damn near swept the Grammys. If it wasn't for Kendrick, majority of the Grammys this past year went to female acts. We're just ignoring that. You understand what I'm saying? The women have been the answer this entire time. But because we want to live in a world where we want to see ourselves be the stars, we want to see ourselves be the ones put on the forefront, we ignore them. Oh, that's the girls' music. That's the girls' music. So we're just not going to pay them no mind. That's for the women. That's for the girls. We ignore that the women have been the tastemakers of the next coming stars since the beginning of music. But we're going to dive deep into that. My first point, let's talk about the growth of the women in music. Back in 2012, about 12, 13, 14 years ago, women made up only 22% of the Billboard Hot 100 charts. 22%. Now in 2024, as of 2024, and I'm pretty sure it done rised again, women make up 37% of the Billboard charts. And just look, if I look at the charts today, which I keep up with it regularly, there's a lot of women that have been holding down the charts. When you're talking about the impact of a Taylor Swift, you're talking about Sabrina Carpenter, you're talking about Ariana Grande, we talk about Doechii, we talk about Glorilla, we talk about Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B. A lot of women have been doing a lot of good shit in music. They have been ushering in the new wave for music in the past 5-10 years, ever since. And some people might have forgot this. I want to say it was 2019, 2018, one of those years. The owner or the man who was running the Grammys complained, said that the women are not doing enough. And I feel like that moment where the Grammy man said women aren't doing enough in music to be celebrated or whatever the fuck he said, that moment was the South got something to say moment. When Andre 3000 got on stage and said the South got something to say, it changed the whole trajectory of music, and the South literally took over. The moment that man said women are not doing enough in music to be rewarded, I think that was that moment. And we're probably not going to even recognize it as that moment until years down the line. But we have to remember that moment when that man said that, things have changed ever since. So 37% in 2024, 37% of the charts were women. In 2023, it was 35. I'm pretty sure at the end of 2025, it's going to be 40, almost 40%. You understand what I'm saying? Let's talk about women as the cultural engines. And I'm going to base this off of not only statistics, but my own experiences and things that I've been seeing and things that I've been through in the past couple of years. First of all, we're going to start with Beyonce. My girlfriend, my mom, my sister spent money, bought merch, and went and flew to different states to see Beyonce. This is some of the things that women do to support artists that they like. Women also post music that they like on their Instagram stories or put it as background music on their pictures. These are things that women do that pushes the music. When music becomes a trend on TikTok, it's usually pushed by the women. Women have been the cultural tastemakers for music for a very long time, especially in this era right now. If the women fuck with a song, the song is going to be big. Think about the biggest songs, especially in hip hop, in the past year. Every single one had something for the women to grasp onto, and that's what took it to where it is. When we talking about Kendrick's verse on Like That, yeah, people going to say, oh, he dissed Drake, that's why it was that big. You know why it was that big? Because nigga bum. Women loved nigga bum. They took that and they ran with it. And guess what? Pushed it there. Wop, 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 dot, fuck him up, wop, wop, wop. A minor. Women fucked with that. And it took it to where it is. Even when we talking about Nokia. What the fuck the function is it, Ashley? Women fuck with that, and it took it off. When we talking about the beginning of Drake's career, who co-signed Drake before any of these weird dudes started becoming Drake fans? Before them, it was women. Before people started being like, oh yeah, Kendrick's the one, women. Fuck that. A lot of women was fucking with Kendrick before everybody else started fucking with Kendrick. And I can go down the list. A lot of women was fucking with Future early. When people talk about club music is music that is made for the clubs to get people to dance. But more specifically, the women. The women co-signed artists like Future when they liked the music that he made out that was going in the clubs. That's why the clubs are the places to test the music out, because if the girls is fucking with it in the clubs, then it's probably going to go. That's why Atlanta started blowing up, because Atlanta was making a lot of music that women could dance to and women could vibe to. You understand what I'm saying? Women, like I said, my mom, my sister, my girlfriend, all was buying merch to see Beyonce, buying plane tickets to go and fly and see Beyonce. These are things that women notoriously do. They will go up and beyond to support artists that they like. Men, on the other hand, we don't do that. That's what I'm saying? I fuck this song, but we're not going to post it. We're not. I've heard men say specifically, hey, ain't no artist out right now that I'm willing to buy a ticket for, but your girlfriend might want to buy a ticket to. Let's talk about Usher. Why is Usher still popular? Because women want to go see Usher. Why is Chris Brown still Chris Brown? Because women want to go see Chris Brown. Beyonce is still Beyonce because women want to go and see Beyonce. You understand what I'm saying? We sleep on not only how impactful women have been as creators, but how impactful women have been as consumers. They've been what has been pushing a lot of this shit forward, and we keep overlooking that. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about Glorilla with FNF. Mariah, one of my favorite songs this year so far, Burning Blue by Mariah Scientist. I love that song. We're talking about that song. SZA has been dominating R&B. People, once again, another person that people say, oh, we don't have no new superstars. SZA is a superstar. SZA has one of the, what's the statistic? The longest time SOS is like spent the longest time in the top 10 albums of R&B, like over 2-3 years. It's been on the charts. You understand what I'm saying? SZA is a superstar. Is Kendrick going on a stadium tour if he doesn't have SZA with him? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that the women have been doing for years, and we just keep looking over them because, once again, we're looking for a male representative, a male star. Once again, I'm like I said, ignoring Tyler the Creator, ignoring Playboi Carti, we're ignoring a Travis Scott, we're ignoring these other people, like, because the thing is, the way we speak about certain artists' status is what fucks shit up. They'll call people like a Ken Carson or Destroy Lonely or even a Playboi Carti, or certain artists that have a big fan base that are pushing a lot of merch, getting a good amount of traction, millions and millions of monthly listeners. We still call them underground. And I think that's kind of where things kind of fuck up, is because we are mislabeling people's status. If you got millions and millions of monthly listeners, 10 million plus, you're not underground. I'm sorry. You may not be as well known as the mainstream art acts, but you're not underground. And you can still be a superstar in your lane, especially nowadays. We ignore the fact that in 2025, you can be a superstar, you can be a megastar and still have a lane of your own. And that's the thing we're missing, because we're so used to these, oh, he did 400,000 first week. Oh, he did hundreds and hundreds of millions of streams. Yeah, that's because those are artists that people are already familiar with, checking their music out regularly. But there are artists on a smaller scale that can still be considered superstar, because the people that we're naming, those are megastars. Those are megastars. You're talking about an Eminem and a Drake and a Kendrick and a J. Cole, who all existed in a time period where you was either a megastar where people had to go out and buy your music. You had to be a superstar, and people had to go out and physically buy your music. So you built that fan base of people that was already there, and we're trying to compare them to people in this new generation where it's all about the streaming. It's all about streaming numbers. It's all about the TikTok engagement and all the stuff like that. In that era, those people should be acknowledged too as the upcoming superstars, upcoming megastars. But because we refuse to give them an acknowledgement, that's what holds them down. Let's talk about how, what even furthers the point. Male collaborations. We've not been paying attention to the fact that these people we call the megastars, these people we call the superstars, these people that we feel like are the top tier of the popularity tree. What have they been doing in the past couple of years to sustain some of their relativity? What have they been doing? Attaching themselves to women. Why? Because the women are the upcoming stars. Think of this pattern. When Lil Baby started buzzing, who ran to do a feature with Lil Baby? Drake. When Lil Durk started buzzing, who ran to do a feature with Lil Durk? Drake. Now, who was the most recent person that Drake ran to kind of get features from? Sexy Red. He was trying to link up with Ice Spice at a certain point. Kendrick with SZA. Like I said, would Kendrick be doing a stadium tour if it wasn't for SZA? We don't know. But the possibility, the fact that it's a possibility says something. You understand what I'm saying? Cardi B and Offset. Cardi B is definitely a superstar, definitely a megastar. But we sleep on that. You understand what I'm saying? We ignore these things. We ignore the fact that some of these artists, some of these male artists are realizing, I got to attach myself to a woman. One of Morgan Wallen, one of his biggest songs right now is What I Want or something like that. It's been on the charts for a minute. He's with Tate McRae. Like, I know that's outside of R&B. I know that's outside of hip hop, but that's just saying something that some of these men's biggest songs right now is, I'm going to link up with a woman. Because these women are the ones that are pushing the culture forward. And there's women as audiences that they feel like, I need to tap into that female audience because they're the ones that's going to really push this shit. You understand what I'm saying? But we've been ignoring it. Because we're only looking for, as I repeat, our own representation. We don't feel like somebody's a star unless they make the music that we want and they show the numbers that we are used to people putting up. But you don't have to put up those numbers anymore. Because like I said, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 streams is 50,000 albums sold is equivalent to almost hundreds of millions of streams. You understand what I'm saying? And once again, even on there are no superstars, there are no megastar points. I mentioned Tyler Creator. I mentioned Playboi Carti. I mentioned Travis Scott. Lil Baby was big. We're forgetting that Lil Baby's run wasn't a small run. Lil Baby was dominating the charts. Lil Baby was a superstar. Durk was a superstar. You understand what I'm saying? The Baby at a certain point, like we've had people that have come, yeah, they may have come and gone, but their runs are no shorter than some of the people that had big hits and were superstars back in the day. How long was Nelly's run? Maybe I might have to look it up. How long was Nelly's run? Maybe 4 or 5 years. How long was Lil Baby's run? 2018 to 2021. And Lil Baby was big. Lil Baby was one of the biggest artists, one of the biggest rappers. NBA YoungBoy, as I mentioned, NBA YoungBoy not only was doing numbers of a superstar, he was doing numbers competitive with a lot of other people at one point. But he has a dedicated, loyal fan base that rides for him. YoungBoy is a superstar. But we just don't, we ignore them and be like, oh, there's nobody that's going to carry the torch. We have so many people that can carry the torch in their own lane. But because they don't fit the metrics that we once looked at in a new era where none of that shit matters anymore, we still, you know what I'm saying? Just look over and ignore it. Like I said, majority, almost 40% of the charts right now are women. A lot of the men are attaching themselves to who? Women to keep the clout. The women fan bases of music have been the ones that have been keeping music going. A lot of these artists that we say are big, a lot of it comes to the fact that they've kept in touch with their female audience. The reason why, even though some people don't want to admit it, Drake has been on a decline is because he's made music and made moves and done certain things that has detached him slowly from his female audience. A lot of it is just a bunch of right-wing weirdos left. You understand what I'm saying? Compare Drake in 2016 2015, 2014, when he still had that grasp on the female audience. Look at those numbers from that time period and look at his numbers now. Those numbers are still good, but then I think what's his name? Torre is a third. He's lost a third of his popularity in the past 10 years because he's made music that hasn't been as catered to and attractive to women as much as it was back in the day when he was a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more sympathetic. Now he just seems a little bit gone. You understand what I'm saying? And it shows. And it shows. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when he does try and make a little dance song for the ladies, it's forced. And he says certain things that makes it she gonna twerk with a dictionary or whatever like that. Like it's just certain things that rub women the wrong way. And when you rub women the wrong way, they're not going to invest in you and support you as much as they once did. And it shows in how Drake's been performing on the charts, how Drake's album haven't been received the best, haven't sold as much as they used to, but nobody's selling as much as they used to. But streams still mean something. If you're going from 11 billion streams to 3 billion streams, something's missing. You understand what I'm saying? Now let's get into the point that I've been like running home or bringing up repeatedly, and it ties into hyper individualism. We want to see ourselves. We want representation of ourselves. In political theory, there's always a thing. There's a thing referred to as political recognition. Some people just want to be recognized when it comes to politics. When it comes to deciding who and what should I vote for, it usually has to do with recognition. I want to feel recognized. I want to feel important. I want to feel like you see me. You understand what I'm saying? And we live in an era now because music's become a democracy in itself. Music has become a democracy where now the people get to choose what they want to listen to. People get to choose more of what they like compared to back in the day. Because music has become a democracy, it becomes political. So now you have people that want to feel seen, that want to feel recognized when you're making music, which is why Drake has been where Drake has been for so long, because Drake kind of has treated it like politics. I'm going to make albums full of music that touches on each and every type of fan that I can possibly touch on and give them all recognition. You understand what I'm saying? That's how Drake has been able to, I need something for the fans that want me to rap. Okay, so I'm gonna do champagne poetry or something like that. Okay, I got my fans that like my R&B type stuff. I'm gonna go after them. Okay, my dance fans and these fans and these fans and these fans. It's all about recognition. So the issue when it comes to why we won't acknowledge other artists that don't don't acknowledge the actual upcoming stars, specifically the women, is because they don't make the music that makes us feel recognized, that makes us feel important, that makes us feel like the center of attention. Except, you know what I'm saying? Some songs, the song like Type by Glorilla is this is the type of man that I like. He does this and he does that. Like that's that type of song. But it's all about that recognition, that representation, feeling like you see me, which is why when people say, a lot of people just say, oh, it's not for me. It's not for me. Yeah, it may not be for you, but it's for somebody. Somebody's putting these on the charts and those people feel recognized and those people are pushing it. And usually when the women are the ones that feel recognized in a song, they are the ones that's going to push it further than when the men feel recognized. You understand what I'm saying? And it goes into the hyperindividualism is we don't want to put effort toward to make the music that we want be where it should be. We don't want to be the ones that's because, I don't want to look like I'm dick riding, so I'm not going to keep posting this man's songs or whatever like that. Even as an artist, there are people that be like, man, they'll DM you, hey man, I really fuck with your music, but they won't post the song because they don't want to look like a dick rider. Women don't give a fuck about that. Women are going to post your song. Women are going to screenshot. They're going to post the lyrics. Women are going to do the most. They're going to make the TikToks. They're going to make the trends because they don't give a fuck about looking like a dick rider. They don't care. I like this song and I'm going to tell the world that I like this song. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? But because the male ego and the hyperindividualism of I want hip hop to be male focused. I want the next star. I want to see more male superstars on the charts. And because I don't see it, hip hop is trash. Hip hop is dying. There's no more stars. This and that. Because we don't see nothing new that's going to resonate with us. But you got to realize it's not about you. And this was a conversation I was having in the comments of the Lil Bill video, trying to tell people. People were saying, oh, well, this person doesn't do this and this do that, so this and that. Well, it's not about you. There's a whole nother audience of people that are making these songs popular. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody said, as big, I think WAP was big because of controversy, but I never really heard the song. Well, it's not, it doesn't matter if you heard the song. It's not about you. You understand what I'm saying? We have this idea that if I don't hear the song, then it's not really that big. And that's not how anything works. There are 100 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, and I doubt you heard all 100 songs at least once somewhere. I actively listen to the Billboard Hot 100 songs to see what's hot, see what's going on, see what the trends is in music. That's how I know there's a lot of women that are really dominating music right now. There are 100 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, and I guarantee the average music fan, the average music listener has not heard majority of those songs. So the fact that you didn't hear, I believe WAP, let me see, let's do some research real quick. WAP Billboard. Sure. WAP was a #1 song in the country when it came out. Debuted at #1. 93 million US views in its first US streams in its first week. It was a #1 song in the country. And you're telling me, oh, I don't think it was that big because I never heard it. But guess what? Everybody except for you, there's 365 plus million people in the country. You think you not hearing the song affects its movement on the charts? You think you not hearing the song affects its popularity? WAP was a #1 song. I remember when the WAP dropped. There's certain moments in hip hop where you can feel it. You can feel something just happened. I remember where I was when WAP dropped. When WAP dropped, I was with a woman. I was with a female friend of mine. She pulled the car over and said, I need to hear this new Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi song. She put it on in the car and played it. I remember the same feeling that when Not Like Us dropped, I got the same feeling when WAP dropped. Did I go streaming it and playing all the time? No, but I knew that when that happened, something happened. But we act like, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it was the controversy of the song that blew it. No, because before there was a music video, before people knew what the lyrics were, people were wanting to listen to the song because Cardi B is a superstar, is a megastar. Meg Thee Stallion was a star rising. People try to act like Meg Thee Stallion wasn't anybody until the Tory Lanez thing happened. That's not true. No one knew who Tory Lanez was until the Meg Thee Stallion thing happened. But we like to rewrite history all the time. You understand what I'm saying? But that was a big song. FNF by Gorilla was a big song. Ski Heat by Sexy Red was a big song. Munch by Ice Spice, we're forgetting all these moments, was a big song. A lot of these girls were making huge songs, but because the songs didn't resonate with us, we dismissed them. We said, oh, well, there's no real stars. Those girls is just doing what the girls do. There's no real stars. But if you look at the charts, the women have been the ones that have been carrying shit. Like I said earlier, when you look at the Grammys, who was sweeping shit? Besides Kendrick, you got Beyonce won a Grammy, Doechii won a Grammy, Rhapsody won a Grammy. The women were winning Grammys. Why? Because the women have been the new stars putting out the new hot shit that everybody wants to listen to. I know you're going to say, oh, no, well, I didn't want to listen to it, so it could have been everybody. It's not about you. Obviously, numbers show that people ran to go listen to it. And especially the women. And now I know people's going to argue and say, oh, well, no, it doesn't mean anything because their albums aren't selling, which goes to my earlier point. Oh, the girls can't do 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Think about this. Who cares about albums now? There is a certain portion of fans, but the way that the system works right now, which I might have to explain this to you. Songs carry a lot more weight. A hot song carries a lot more weight than a hot album. That's just how it is now. You understand what I'm saying? A big artist like Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber dropped, what the fuck that shit called? I forgot what it's called. Swag. Most of those songs got on the charts. By the time the next week went, only 3 songs were left on the charts. And those are the songs that's going to stay. Those are the songs that matter. Songs matter more than albums now. So even if, and I'm not talking creatively. I'm talking number-wise. Number-wise, what can they invest the most and get the most return out of? An album is going to cost a lot more money for the label. But if they can get one song that's going to go, it's going to pay for everything. You understand what I'm saying? So who cares if they're not selling 1 million albums first week? They have songs that are sitting on the charts for months and months at a time. That's going to pay back tenfold and tenfold and tenfold. You understand what I'm saying? So who cares? Because a lot of artists that's going to do 200, 300,000 first week, 2 weeks down the line, majority of that album is going to be gone. And a lot of people are just going to be streaming 2 or 3 songs off of that album. That's just the reality of it. So who cares about who sells what in the first week? Who cares how much albums are being sold? Because what matters the most is the longevity of the songs that exist on there. And the women have consistently made songs that last longer than the men have been making songs that last. You understand what I'm saying? I was just listening to at the gym talking Tomorrow 2 with Cardi B and Glorilla came out. I said, damn, I remember when this song came out. That shit moved something. Even Outside, the Cardi B song Outside that came out, it ain't doing the best on the charts, but the fact that it debuted at number 10 shows not only have people been waiting for Cardi B to drop. You understand what I'm saying? Not only have people been waiting for Cardi B to drop, but there's enough people waiting on Cardi B to drop that it'll go to number 10 in the first week. And it's still on the charts. It's not like it went number 10 and fell off. It dropped a few spots, but you got to think the Billboard Hot 100s is the top 100 most streamed, most popular songs of the week out of millions and millions of songs dropped every week. Think about that. There are millions of songs dropped every week, and the Hot 100 are the hottest, most streamed, most popular songs that week. So for women to be on the chart for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, even years, songs being on the chart for years, Anxiety was on chart for months. That means that on a weekly basis, millions and millions of people are running to those songs, keeping them going. You understand what I'm saying? And that's saying something. That's saying something more than someone dropping an album with 20 songs. 20 songs hit the charts, and then 2 weeks later, 1 song stays. It means a lot more because guess what? That means 19 of the songs people stop running to. Meanwhile, these girls are just dropping hits back to back to back. And like I said, Kendrick is linking with SZA. Drake's linking with Sexy Red. People, Central C was linking with Ice Spice. Every single time a hot female act comes, a man comes around to attach himself because he knows the power that the women have been holding and the dominance that they've been having. Yet we don't acknowledge it. We don't consider them the new up and coming stars. Even Nicki Minaj, whenever that album dropped, I never listened to it, but she did drop an album a few years ago, and it did like 250,000. That's a woman. Beyonce is Beyonce. That's a woman. You understand what I'm saying? But let's talk. Let's start wrapping it up. The bigger truth, the bigger issue with this: hip hop is dying. Who's going to carry the torch? Who's going to be the next up and coming? Not only have the women been showing that they can carry the torch, but they have been carrying the torch. But there are women for each genre that you feel like is missing. You understand what I'm saying? If we're looking for Lotto had a fire album last year. That super sugar. I don't keep saying super sugar honey iced tea was a fire album. I really like that album. But if you're talking about the club bangers, you got a Sexy Red, you got a Ice Spice, you got a Lotto. If you're talking about somebody that can rap, you got a Doechii, you got a Rhapsody. You got even some up and coming people. If you're talking about the melodies and the raps and making the hit songs that the people can relate to and the people can connect to, and even the men are attaching themselves to and the women are attaching themselves to, you have SZA. All the lanes that a Drake, a Kendrick, and a Cole hold, they have women right up under them ready to take the spot, but we won't give it to them because they're women. And because we as men don't relate to the content that they're making, we feel like, no, they can't have the spot. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You want to see yourself. You want to see yourself as a representation of what hip hop is. We want hip hop to always be male led. Hip it's ruining everything. We don't the fact that the women are the biggest supporters that you can have, the most important supporters that you can have as an artist, and we as consumers don't value the fact that the women have been the ones that have been giving us the good music, giving us the hit records, winning the awards, dominating the charts. We don't want to acknowledge that. You understand what I'm saying? It's just crazy. And like I said, we're living in a time where album sales don't matter. Who knows how much Ken Carson is selling first week? But guess what? He has a dedicated fan base that's buying his merch. He has a dedicated big fan base that going to go crazy for him. You understand what I'm saying? We have to turn off this idea that of these metrics that existed back in the day and acting like they still apply or they still matter. They don't hold weight anymore because streams are getting split. Album sale, one album sale is what, 1,500 streams? So if you're talking about 30,000 albums sold, you're talking about 30,000 times 1,500. You understand what I'm saying? There's millions and millions of streams. Millions and millions of streams in a week. And some people are doing that regularly. You understand what I'm saying? It's just crazy. But I don't think hip hop is dying. And the more that we keep speaking of, and words have power, the more we keep speaking of the death of hip hop, the more we are ushering it in. And the more we stay closed-minded, the more that we won't acknowledge that, especially nowadays, there are superstars that exist in their own lane that are able to make a living, because that should be what matters the most. Who's giving good music and who's able to make a living off of giving us good music. But that's all that matters. And there are some artists that are making a great living and are making good music that dedicates to their fan base, and their fan base is way bigger than we want to give them credit for. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of the fan bases that people have, a lot of other artists would kill for those fan bases. Every artist, and I say this all the time, every artist don't want a Drake size fan base. Some artists will be okay with a Ken Carson fan base, a Playboi Carti fan base. You understand what I'm saying? Those are big fan bases. If you take Playboi Carti fans and put them in a room, you'll be like, wow. Wow. But we don't think about it like that. And then we feel like, oh, if I don't hear that person's music, if I don't know that person's music, if I don't recognize the song, then they must not be that big. Was everybody in hip hop tuned into what the Backstreet Boys was doing, what NSYNC was doing? Were y'all tuned into that music? Was y'all tuned in to George Michael? Was y'all tuned into Elton John? Some of y'all were, but not everybody. You're not going to be tuned into every single thing that's hot everywhere at all times. That's just not realistic. Unless you actively go looking for what's hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I keep my eyes on the Billboard and I listen to see what's hot, what's the trends and what's going on, whatever like that. But the average person isn't going to dive that deep into it. You're going to hear, especially in this algorithm thing, and people try to come at me for saying, hey, we live in an algorithmic world where we're only going to see what caters to us. And people were like, oh, no, that doesn't make, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that Glorilla is as big as, no, because Glorilla doesn't make the music that caters to you, because she doesn't do the things that cater to you unless it comes into like I find her attractive, so I'm going to keep seeing her post. That's not going to be on your radar. I don't know why people think that somebody that doesn't do something for them is going to be on their radar. When the algorithm says, well, if you don't care about that, we're not going to show that to you. That's how it works. So just because you blocked out somebody's success doesn't mean it's non-existent. Doesn't mean it's not a reality. Like I said, Glorilla's doing shows, and a lot of these women are doing things the right way. They're not overestimating their popularity. A lot of these women are like, yeah, I'm doing this, and this, but let me try doing some theater tour. Let me do a little theater tour and then work my way up to an arena. Some of these dudes get one hit and think they can do arena tours, and when they can't sell out an arena, they look stupid. These women are more humble. These women are, I feel like it's possible that these women are less expensive. The thing back in the day used to be, oh, we can't invest in women acts because they're so expensive, because they need hairstylists and they need this and they need that and they need this and they need that. That may still be true, but I won't be surprised if the expense on a male artist has gotten a lot closer to the expense of a female artist. These dudes want the fast cars, they want the gold chains, they want the new grills, they want new teeth, they want all these things that come with the rapper package, and maybe they be like, it may be a little bit more easier to invest in the women. And then the dudes that ask for all that money and then give you a half-ass project. A half-ass project. The dudes will ask for all this money. I want $3 million. I want a new house. I want a cold chain. I want this and that. Give you a half-ass project that does not bring back the return. I want all the bitches and I want this. I want that. I want to flight here. I want to flight there. I feel like the women are locking in more, locking into what they need to create more, because they don't need all these distractions. They don't need all this extra shit. I just need my hair done, my nails done, and my makeup done, and I'm good. You understand what I'm saying? And then once things start to come in, guess what? They start looking more like a star. They start doing these things, but they're not trying to come in with the full package. I ain't saying girls ain't buying gold chains. They definitely get buying gold chains, getting BBLs and all stuff like that. But guess what? The dudes is doing the same shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure it's getting to that point too. But that's just something I've been wanting to talk about, especially after the Lil Bill thing and the FD thing and all stuff like that. I'm just sitting there watching, and like, I understand the conversation of, oh, we have no real stars, and oh, Juice WRLD passed, and X passed, and this person passed, and this person passed. It's a lost generation. We don't have no new stars. Everybody's gone. Pop Smoke's gone. Who's going to carry the torch? they've been right there the entire time. Just like Lil Bill said, they've been right there the entire time. And because us as men want men to be the lead of the new future, the lead of the next generation, we are ignoring the fact that the next generation has been right there the entire time. And like I said, even if you don't want to say it's just a woman, you still have a Playboy Cardi. You still have Tyler Creator was not doing 200, 300,000 first week 10 years ago. He wasn't. I don't think he was. But he became a big star. Tyler Creator is a big star now. And because he done put in that work, we got to put him in the superstar conversation. You understand? But we don't want to for some apparent reason because he doesn't make the music that we feel justifies him being in that conversation. Oh, he doesn't have all the Billboard hits. How many superstars in rap over the course of hip hop history have a lot of number one hits? That's a new thing. That's a new metric of, oh, well, you don't have buku number one hits. Sometimes the fact that you just have a hit. Jay-Z didn't have his first. Jay-Z was a rap superstar, but he didn't have his first number one till New York State. New York State? No, what's the song with Alicia Keys? I can't think of the name of the fucking song. Jay-Z was a guaranteed, certified rap superstar, megastar in hip hop. He was, but he did not have a number one song until later in his career. So the fact that, oh, well, I can't consider these women to be as big as I think they are because they don't have all the hits. First of all, I think Cardi B has, what, 5, 6 number ones? We got to look it up. How many number ones Cardi B has? 5. Cardi B has 5 number ones. Solo number ones. She's been out not even 10 years yet. She's a new megastar. So what do we complain? Oh, we have no new stars. It's just Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. Cardi B has 5 number ones. How many? Let me see. If Meg Thee Stallion has any. I know WAP will be considered a collab number one. 5 solo number ones, and man, I don't think she had. What's that? Is it? We act like Hot Girl Summer wasn't a movement. Like we're ignoring movements and moments in the hip hop because we want to keep hyper focusing on what the men are doing. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. That's kind of my point. I ain't trying to convince y'all of anything. I'm just trying to tell y'all, hey, things is changing. You either accept the change or you shut the fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? Because, like I said, because they're not making the music we want, because they're talking about what's personal to them, and because the music is quote unquote for the ladies, even though as a man, that should be hard. That should be fire. Like I said, Burning Blue by Mariah Scientist is one of my favorite songs this year. Kehlani dropped one of my favorite projects last year. Chinchilla, which y'all probably don't know who Chinchilla is, but Chinchilla, she's not R&B, she's not, I don't know what she would be considered as, but Chinchilla dropped my favorite project last year. You understand what I'm saying? The women, Doechie's Alligator Bites was a fire album or fire mixtape or whatever it was. And Open My Eagle kind of brought that up when he was reacting to FD Signifier. Alligator Bites was probably the best project last year. Deny Was a River was a big song. It was on the charts for a good while. Anxiety, I think it recently fell off the charts, was on the charts for a while. I heard that song almost every day. Hot Girl Summer. Meg Thee Stallion's movement was a real thing. Meg Thee Stallion is the one. Despite what the narratives on the internet, people was not talking about Tory Lanez this much until the Meg Thee Stallion incident. People who knew of him in the R&B space, yeah, they knew of him. But Meg Thee Stallion was obviously the biggest star. Obviously the biggest star. Cardi B is obviously the bigger star than Offset. You understand what I'm saying? Glorilla, right now, today, that Young Thug and Future song fell off the charts. People are saying, Thug, you need to get focused. Mariah Scientist is becoming a bigger artist than you. This is the thing that people are saying. The women are the future. And it's either you get along with it or you just get pushed to the side. We can't just keep ignoring them. We can't just keep trying to push these narratives of music has been trash. There's no new stars. There's no new popping acts. There are. We're just ignoring them. But anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. That's it for me. I'm out. You don't got, like I said, I ain't trying to convince you or nothing. I'm just saying we got to get out of our own heads. Hyper individualism all comes to that. You're not going to always be on top of what's hot. You're not always going to be on top of who's the new superstar. Because you're going to always focus on what's beneficial and what caters to you the most. If you're a Drake fan, Drake caters to you the most. So you're begging for him to have a big song so you can feel some type of way. Same with a Kendrick. But guess what these dudes are doing? They're either making songs that are going to cater to the women. That's why in the Drake beef he kept saying drop, 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 because we got to get the woman to dance. That's the only way this shit gonna go. That's why Drake kept saying hands on your knees, hands on your knees. We have to have something because the song is not gonna go unless the women fuck with it. Drake knows the formula. That's why he does what he does. Kendrick knows the formula. That's why he does what he does. The people that know the women are the most important consumers of music that you need because they're the ones that's going to push your song. And the women artists are the most important features that you need because they're going to be the closest things to connect to the other female acts. Whether it's a soft voice, they're going to add a nice little bounce, a nice little feel. They're going to talk about something that the women can relate to and the women can rap to, the women can caption. If the man doesn't do it himself, which is why men started making caption raps because they're looking for something that the women can post. They don't give a fuck what niggas posting on the shit. That's why drill kind of died out because the women were like, okay, I don't really want to shake ass to niggas dying. I don't really want to do that. Some girls will do it, but some girls started getting tired of it. They're like, okay, I need a little something else. It's just a bad vibe for me. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna wrap it up. I know I keep saying that, but I'm gonna wrap it up. Shout out to the ladies, creators, consumers. Had this discussion with my girlfriend earlier, and she was like, hey, this is a good point. This is a good point. I told her, I said, you flew to Washington, D.C. to see Beyonce. I don't know niggas that's gonna fly nowhere to go see no nigga. Then some dudes might fly to go see Drake, but that's a discussion for another time. But my mom did the same thing. They flew to Atlanta to go see her. Women were flying all around the country to go see Beyonce. Women were taking their mans to fly to Las Vegas to go see Usher. Women are willing to be active consumers of music while men aren't. We'll listen to some shit, say it's trash or mid on the internet, and move on. But anyways, that's it for me. I promise this time. I'm out. Shout out to everybody that came in. Too sweet. Deuce.